Ilia Topuria just posted that he would knock out Terence Crawford with one punch in a boxing match. This isn't an MMA fight. This is Ilia Topuria calling out Terence Crawford for a potential boxing match, I guess, if Terence Crawford beats Canelo this weekend. Ilia Topuria is known for his boxing in the UFC, being called the best boxer, and this would be a chance to go up against one of the biggest boxers right now, Terence Crawford, one of the biggest superstars in the sport right now, and he could be even bigger with a win against Canelo this weekend because, like I said, he is fighting him. The big card on Netflix, and we're going to talk about that because that card on Netflix means that it is a little more possible that Ilia Topuria could fight Terence Crawford, but I'm going to talk about if I think it's even going to happen. Ilia Topuria has done so much in his UFC career, still being undefeated, winning the lightweight title, the featherweight title, still possibly defending his title later this year. Honestly, we don't know what's going on with him, but he has called out Terence Crawford, who is also accomplished, 41-0, who has some of the most craziest knockouts, has a lot of knockouts in boxing. He could be on the verge of being a really big star because, like I said, this Netflix card, it is a big deal. I'm seeing it advertised everywhere. I don't know about you guys. I think a lot of people will probably be watching this, and this is a good chance for, look, Crawford also could lose. This is a close fight. Maybe I'll do a video about this later. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But Ilia Topuria is also known for making some of the craziest call-outs, like he calls his shots, and sometimes he's right, claiming he would knock out Charles Oliveira in the first round, claiming that he would knock out, Max Holloway, when a lot of people doubted Ilia a lot of those times. Ilia has always managed to get it done, and this is another possibility. I think a lot of fans are saying this is why it's a big deal, because Ilia has kind of followed the Conor McGregor route, right? Conor was a featherweight, he moved up to lightweight, and then he went into boxing. So this is what Ilia Topuria put out, and we do have a sort of face-off between the two, but I want to read this tweet out first. Ilia said, "I won't talk about what would happen between me and Crawford in an octagon. I'll talk about what would happen in a ring. I put him to sleep in the first contact." Okay, so I guess he means like first punch, like literally the first thing he hits him with, he's knocking him out, right? Which is kind of a weird way to put it, but okay, whatever. This is the typical Ilia Topuria trash talk. He always says he's gonna knock out, whoever in the first round in the first punch. It doesn't always happen, but it does happen a lot. I mean, I honestly think he has some of the craziest knockouts. The resume he has, I mean, the highlight really he has. It's insane at this point, knocking out some of the best people, like not even bums at this point. We also have this. I wanted to take a look at this. Ilia Topuria posted this now, but this is from June, so this is not now. I know a lot of people are posting that this is now. This is not now. I wanted to confirm. This is Terence Crawford. This is Ilia Topuria, and look, similar size. I would like to see the fight just because, look, it's a big fight. It's a super fight, and we do get to see Ilia's boxing, even though I think obviously we have seen time and time again MMA fighters struggle in boxing, let alone against Terence Crawford, who potentially could go down as one of the best. I mean, I'm not saying he is right now, but I'm just saying you never know where his career will end up. He's already a big deal. You never know where it'll be 5 years down the line. That's all I'm saying. So for Ilia to go up against him right away, I don't think it's really that smart for him, and I don't think the UFC are going to necessarily agree. So these are some of the replies for Ilia Topuria. "What a fucking loser. Of course you will destroy him in a cage. Where are you at? Let me spar you and show you that there's levels. I mean, in the ring, Crawford knocks your lights out. Ilia is the only UFC fighter who could actually become the best in boxing," and I agree with that. I mean, I don't know if only, but one of them. I mean, there's definitely a few other ones you could probably name. Crawford is not an issue. Armin is. Stop tucking, bro. So this guy claimed. I mean, I don't know. I definitely probably think he is way more likely to beat Armin than he is Terence Crawford at this point. Really following Conor's path, aren't you? And yeah, I mean, just dissing him. So as you can see, the boxing world, of course, is going to be skeptical. I mean, we've seen with Jake Paul fight other MMA fighters. Jake Paul's not even a good boxer. So, I mean, the fact that he's able to knock out these MMA fighters, I don't think, even though Ilia Topuria is really good and he's young, That would be the argument, is that maybe Ilia Topuria is just that good to do it, but I highly doubt it. I really don't think so. But I would still want to see the fight just because it's a fun fight. And why not see Ilia Topuria get paid? I mean, honestly. Now let's talk about this realistically, not just my opinion. I mean, we talked about the fact that Ilia would probably lose, yes, but is this possible to even happen? And that, I don't know. I mean, I think that if I were to take a guess, I would say no. I don't think. I mean, we've seen that the UFC stance is they don't want their guys boxing. It makes them look bad when they lose to other guys. It doesn't really help anybody. And the only reason that this could potentially, work is because of the new Zuffa boxing. Obviously, Dana White starting this new boxing company. This weekend is his first event with Terence Crawford and Canelo. So maybe the only possibility is if, maybe the TKO guys are like, the people above Dana White, his bosses, because remember, he works for the TKO company. If they tell Dana White and say, hey, we want to get these numbers up, we think that this is what the fans want, and this is what everybody is demanding for. They want an MMA fighter, an elite MMA fighter, an elite champion versus an elite boxer, them to meet in a super fight boxing match. That's the only way I could see it happening. But I don't think so, because it is really easy to make, because Terence Crawford, I mean, I'm not really sure if he's signed I'm not even sure. Is he signed to Zuffa Boxing? Is he signed to Turkey? Is he signed to Riyadh? I'm not exactly sure who he's signed to, but Ilia is with TKO. It seems like Terence Crawford is signed to TKO, or at least has good relationship with them. So I think the fight, it could be made. It's not impossible. I just think we have to look at what Dana White would want. I think Dana White's going to want the boxers to stay boxers and the UFC fighters to stay UFC fighters. But I wouldn't rule it out, because this would be a mega fight. And especially if we see Ilia versus Islam, and then we get this fight or something like that next year. If Ilia beats Islam and is coming off that win, if Terence Crawford is coming off of a Canelo win, I don't know. That would be a really, really big fight to make. And there's so much money in that. Not only money, but it's like you could really make the Zuffa boxing brand a household name with this one big event. If you really make this one big event that everybody's talking about, really promote the Zuffa boxing brand, I think that is the biggest thing. It's not even the money you can make with that one particular fight, but it's about making Zuffa boxing as big as DAZN, or as big as Matchroom, as big as, one of these other boxing promotions or networks or whatever. But if they're able to actually do that, then it could happen. Also could happen if Turkey himself wants the fight to happen. We know Turkey is the one signing the checks. He's the one basically making it so that Dana White and everybody won't lose any money, that he's just going to basically fund all of these boxing events if they need it, extra cash to make these mega super fights happen to help grow the brand. This is the same thing with Ilia Topuria. Maybe if Turkey says, look, I want to see this fight. I want to see a UFC fighter versus a boxer. Maybe he's, we know Turkey's a boxing fan. Maybe he wants just this boxer just absolutely destroy an MMA fighter and just put the debate to rest. I don't know. You don't know what Turkey's thinking. He's got a lot of money to just fuck around and do whatever he wants, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, who do you guys think would win, Ilia Topuria, or do you think Terence Crawford will win a boxing match? I actually don't even answer that. That question's stupid. I already know what you guys' answer is, but seriously, do comment in the comment section below. Check out my last video where we talked about the John Jones incident, where, I actually did some investigating of my own, so go check that out. I know it was a bit of a late video, so I am sorry about that. Guys, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next one.